Good evening, and welcome to the AOHS Auditorium for our first show choir performance of the year. Tonight, we're going to have a night full of singing and dancing in store for you, but before we begin, let's take a look backstage and introduce one of our star performers. Tonight, we're taking a deeper dive with senior performer Alyssa Lewis and what makes her the performer that she is. As the night goes on, we're going to go over her biggest fans in the crowd, her many hobbies and interests, and finally, her plans for the future. Now, as we begin the opener, let's introduce some of her fans in the crowd, who you'll definitely be hearing when she's performing her solo. We have her mother, Sarah, her stepdad, Matt, and her brother, Steven, who unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight, but in his place, you have her boyfriend, Harry, who might be accompanying them. But we also have her many different friends who are here tonight, which include Caitlyn, who is sharing the stage with her, and our friends in the crowd, which include Addie, Max, and Caitlyn. But we can't forget the many fans who unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight, but will be patiently waiting for her to return. This includes her 3 dogs, Layla, George, and Poppy, and her cat, Princess, who will all be patiently waiting to celebrate her performance when she gets home. Now, as we move on to the next song, let's go over what some of her hobbies and interests are. In school, you may find that she's in the theater practicing her melody for her next performance. If not, you can find her in many different places outside of school. This includes her work, TJ Maxx, where she spends most of her free time making some money for her future. And if not, you can find her at home doom scrolling TikTok or talking to her mom, who happens to be her best friend. Now, as we change the pace, let's go over what some of her other interests happen to be. We have, in her other free time, you may find her with one of her many friends, but you may find that she's in the passenger seat picking where they eat, for she's known as not the best driver and a pretty picky eater. And if she's not with one of her many friends, you may catch her again at home reading one of her many books, for she is very interested in reading in her free time. And if she's not doing that, you may find her reminiscing about the day she got her first dog, Layla, who has been with her for 10 years now and means quite a lot to her. And if she has any extra time to herself, you may find her studying for pre-med, which is something she's interested in pursuing for her future. Now, as we begin the finale, let's go over what her plans for the future entail for her. Alyssa would like to attend pre-med after graduating high school and spend her next 4 years doing that. Once done, she wants to go into medical school and eventually graduate, working to become a pediatrician and getting to work with children and their health. Once she is done with all this, she would like to get out of any sort of debt and pay off any student loans she may have accumulated over her years of schooling, and eventually move out of Iowa into a big house on the coast of the state, getting to enjoy the morning breeze while looking out at the waves. And in the end, she would eventually like to settle down and get married with around 2 to 4 kids while getting to feed her pet anteater every night. Now, as we continue, we might find her in her free time getting to travel around the world, maybe somewhere in Europe, as long as it's not in Iowa, for she does not want to come back. And before we close the curtains, it is safe to say Alyssa will do great things in her future, being supported by her biggest fans, her hobbies and interests, and finally her plans for the future. She will do amazing things, just like her performance tonight. Now, before the lights come back on and the people begin leaving, let's give one final round of applause for Alyssa.